A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another kind of a partial book review today. I'm looking at The Death and Return of Superman. This thing is an absolute beast. Now, I'm not going to be going through the entire storyline today. That would be fucking stupid and would cause this video to go for about 4 hours. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the story into its component parts, starting with the death of Superman, moving into funeral for a friend, and so on and so forth. So I'm looking today at the death of Superman. Why am I looking at a storyline that came out in 1992, 30 years ago? Well, it's very simple. Good friend Luke Harmon said, I want to see you have a look at this storyline. Fair enough. Anytime anyone wants me to read and review something, quite happy to do it. But he also linked a video which was a criticism on the story itself, showing that people believe that the death of Superman was, in effect, the death of death in comics. And to be perfectly honest with you, that video infuriated me quite a bit, because the death of Superman, while it was a huge storyline at the time, I mean, for fuck's sake, we even had comedians in Australia joking about it. Anyone that watched The Late Show on a Saturday night might remember Tony Martin and Mick Malloy talking about it in one of their opening kind of diatribes. And then I believe it was Santo Cilaro's grandfather was sitting in the front row dressed as Superman, and Mick Malloy gave him a bit of a nipple cripple. So this storyline was huge. The reason a lot of people believe it was the death of death in comics is because it was so prominent, it was so big. There are characters that have died in comics and not been brought back. Uncle Ben, for example. In more modern times, you've got Alfred from Tom King's run on Batman. But this was the first huge comic book death that garnered media attention outside of the usual fandom. I mean, if you go back and look at the Dark Phoenix saga, where Jean Grey died at the end of that, and subsequently was brought back as clones and this and that and whatever. I mean, the death of Superman wasn't the first death of a character and then brought back as kind of, a lot of people say it's a cop-out. A lot of people say it was a death of death in comics. I wholeheartedly disagree. That's why I wanted to do these videos, to show you the complete story and just to give you my take on it. Now, the final thing I have to say is the death of Superman being the death of death in comics. If anyone went into this storyline believing that Superman would stay dead, I'm sorry. I apologize wholeheartedly for what I'm about to say. They're a fucking idiot. DC would never kill off their moneymaker, so to speak. You're going to see this when I do the Nightfall story arc from the Batman comics, where Bane broke Batman's back. Do you really think they were going to keep Bruce Wayne as a paraplegic? I mean, come on. So, that's just my 2 cents. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. It's all good. It's all in fun. And your opinions are as valid as my opinion. So, if you don't agree with anything that I've said or that I'm going to say in the video, perfectly fine. I don't mind. You don't mind. We're all just people here reading a story from 30 years ago about a character that seemingly died and then was brought back to life. With no biblical references in there whatsoever. With that said, let's get straight on to another episode of So this is going to be a look at the death and return of Superman. However, because of the size of this story, I will be splitting these videos up into their respective story arcs. The first of which is going to be the death of Superman. Okay, so we get a lovely little kind of forward here on We Killed the Superman. Interesting read. I'm not going to go through it right now. We are just going to get straight into it with a fist that is smashing into a metal door. As you can see, bones are starting to kind of break through the glove that is protecting it. And then eventually, whatever it is breaks out, and we come to the first issue, the beginning of the end, Doomsday. With a lovely bloody S symbol there that became kind of synonymous with this story arc. So Doomsday has started to break out of his prison. We have Superman flying around, and we get a young boy who is buying some glow-in-the-dark spray paint. The reason he's buying the spray paint is because he thinks that some monsters have taken his mother, and he wants to get Superman's help and attention. At the same time, we get the villains for this issue. The Underworlders have taken over the electricity plant in Metropolis. Lois Lane has gotten a note from a friend. The boy has kind of gone into the underground, leaving markers to track where the Underworlders presumably are. Lois leaves a message on Clark Kent's computer at the Daily Planet. And then we get Doomsday meeting a nice little birdie and just killing it for no apparent reason. Superman returns to the Daily Planet, of course, changes back into his Clark Kent persona, discovers the message on his computer while the Underworlders are all cheering. Lois Lane, following the message on the note, goes to the power plant and is captured by the Underworlders, and she realizes that a man from the homeless shelter where she volunteers at is working with them, and she has been betrayed. The boy, who has found the Underworlders' lair, realizes what's going on and decides he's going to get some help. In the meantime, we get another page of Doomsday just smashing the crap out of everything. He heads back up to the surface. The boy puts the Superman shield on the ground in the paint. Superman sees it, comes down, and the boy lets him know what is going on. In the meantime, the Underworlders are using a drilling device to smash up into Metropolis. Of course, it doesn't go according to plan, as Superman comes down and saves the day. He smashes all of their gear and equipment. Kind of does his Superman thing, bringing everyone to justice, of course. And at this point, Doomsday is just going on a rampage. Superman is about to attack the guy from the homeless shelter, but Lois Lane lets him know that he was a plant. He's been working with her as a mole in the Underworlders organization. Superman thanks him. And then we see Doomsday going on a rampage and just blowing up a truck. And now the Justice League have gotten the memo, so to speak, that Doomsday is on the rampage. Drinking my Beam and Coke just like a Korean man in a teacher's lounge. Okay, so we go to Justice League of America. On the cover here, you can see some of the Justice Leaguers. We have Bloodwind, Fire, Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, and Guy Gardner. Now, I am just going to say this straight out. I know a few of these characters. Don't know all of them. Didn't really read Justice League back in the day, and the Justice League roster has changed so often. They were very much like the Avengers, in that they would constantly have the heavy hitters leave the team, and they would bring in new recruits. The Justice League, to me, will always be the Grant Morrison, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter, like the big ones. So I do know who Booster Gold is. Booster Gold is a time traveler from the future who basically was a nobody, and then he got this time traveling equipment and he came back to our time to kind of prevent crimes before they happen and thus make himself out to be a hero. Blue Beetle, the character has changed a lot. It used to be like an Egyptian scarab thing, but then it was technology, and then, I don't know. Guy Gardner is a Green Lantern, the most hated of the Green Lanterns. Picture Guy Gardner as the Jason Todd of the Green Lantern Corps. Bloodwind, no idea, but there are some allusions to him being Martian Manhunter. Fire, don't know, I've never seen her before. Just so you know. So here we have, I believe that's Maxima and Booster Gold rescuing people, doing their best to kind of avert this upcoming disaster. At the same time, Superman is scheduled to appear at high schools. He's going to appear at one high school, but it's going to be televised across all high schools, which is a big deal, and which is why he's not fighting with the Justice League at this time. Here we have Ice. I believe Ice is Guy Gardner's girlfriend, but don't kind of quote me on that. And they're all just trying to work out what the fuck is going on while Superman is being asked questions by a reporter. Doomsday, of course, continuing his rampage. He sees the Justice League ship coming. Superman's talking to the reporter. It spears the ship, forcing them to crash. They all come down to confront Doomsday while Superman is talking to the reporter. Doomsday causes a truck accident. They go after him. Of course, Guy Gardner being the cocky shit that he is. And like, when I say Guy Gardner is the Jason Todd of Green Lanterns, like, he seriously is. Look at the Green Lanterns you've had. Modern Green Lanterns. Hal Jordan. Awesome Green Lantern. Like, the epitome of the Green Lanterns, except when he became Parallax and then the Spectre. But that's a different story. John Stewart, the architect. Carl Rayner, the artist. Simon Baz. Guy Gardner is just a cocky shit who was once punched out by Batman. A fucking Green Lantern got king hit by Batman. Like, that's just embarrassing. But in this case, he's going after Doomsday while, you guessed it, Superman's talking to a fucking reporter. Does he do well against Doomsday? Fuck no. Doomsday smashes his face in the ground and beats the living shit out of everyone while Superman talks to the reporters. This goes on and on and on. It is an absolute massacre where Doomsday just decimates the entire Justice League while Superman talks to a reporter. Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, comes up, tries to get his licks in. As you can see, doesn't really work, and he is put into a coma. Booster Gold, who at the time in the comics, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold were like best friends. Booster Gold gets really pissed off while Superman talks to a reporter. He goes to fight Doomsday. Superman at this point has realized that there's something going on. Someone's told him, dude, you better go. There's some shit going down. Booster Gold gets smacked out, but because of his suit and his abilities, he just goes flying, but he's kind of protected until he is stopped by Superman, who has stopped talking to the fucking reporter. And Booster Gold is the one that really coins the character's name as Doomsday. Oh, delicious. Okay. That's me chewing ice. If you don't like it, well, stiff shit. Now, what do we know so far from these couple of issues of this story? Well, we know that there is no depth to it. There is no finesse. The villain is just a powerhouse that the writers felt the need to put up against another powerhouse. That is the whole point of Doomsday. There is no Lex Luthor-esque kind of supervillainy. Heck, even Metallo has a kryptonite heart. Brainiac has his like Kryptonian knowledge. Nope. Who is the person that's going to kill Superman? Another guy that can just punch. So make of that what you will. So in Superman 74, we have Maxima, Ice, and Ted Kord as Blue Beetle. Ted Kord is, of course, in a coma. Ice tells Maxima that you need to get him to a hospital, and Maxima is like, well, fuck that, I'm going to go fight. Maxima used to be a villain, but she was reformed and joined Justice League. Ice pleads with her, and Maxima finally agrees to get Ted Kord to a hospital. That brings us to this douchebag. Okay, so this character is a high school student who, his parents are divorced. He's living with his mother. His mother has a kid. The father left her. And this guy is just a fucking dick. Like, I understand what the writers were doing with this character. Okay, so they wanted this character to be the stereotypical 90s teenager. Hat on backwards, riding a skateboard, kind of the Nirvana look, I guess. When he goes home, his mother asks him how his day was, which he resents because why is she so cheesy? Why is she this? Why is she that? No wonder Dad left her. Blah, blah, blah. There's never any soda in the house. Dad has soda when I go and stay with him on weekends. This kid is a fucking cunt. Now, to be fair to the writers, when I was in my final year of high school, I was a fucking asshole to my parents too. I thought I knew everything. Anytime my parents asked me a question or gave me advice, I was a smartass or I was a fucking asshole. But I ultimately spent, well, let's just say the rest of my fucking life up until my mother passed away and my father passed away, trying to make up for the fact that I was just a fucking shit to them when I was a teenager. This kid, I guess, if we see him grow up, maybe he will be redeemable. But at this point in the story, I mean, dude, lose the fucking mullet. Come on, wait. This was in the early 90s, wasn't it? Keep the fucking mullet. You're cool, man. Anyway, we meet this family. The mother's doing her best with the baby and the kid. The kid wants soda. And then suddenly, oh shit, ice comes flying through the fucking window. Doomsday's outside. He's wrecking the car. The kid is like, holy shit. Superman and Booster Gold come down. Doomsday punches Superman in the chest. I'm sorry. In the boob. That is a fucking no-no, mate. That's his no-no place. So they get into a fight and the house ultimately gets absolutely destroyed. Superman is trying to protect the family, while at the same time holding off Doomsday. We get the other members of the Justice League who have kind of recovered. We see Guy Gardner, Bloodwind, Fire, and of course there is Booster Gold. And they're like, let's hit this guy with everything we fucking have. But ultimately it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Fire uses all of her powers, so she's out of the fight. Booster Gold's energy supply is drained. He's out of the fight. And Doomsday basically just decimates the fucking team. He punches the shit out of Booster Gold. Smashes everyone. You can see him hitting Bloodwind and Superman here. And Superman kind of realizes that there is going to be a bit of a fire hazard with gas leaks and whatnot. Fire uses the last of her power. And the house absolutely explodes, trapping the mother, the baby, and the kid inside. And Doomsday leaps off like the Incredible Hulk. And Superman goes after him. Superman can hear that the kid is screaming for help. The Justice League are out. They can't help anyone, but Superman is intent on capturing Doomsday. The kid is like, you've got to help me. You've got to help me. Please. Superman is like, fuck no, kid. I got to help Doomsday. If I help you, hundreds of people could possibly die. So is your life and your mother's life and your kid's sister's life more important than hundreds of people? I don't think so. I'm fucking Superman. I make the tough decisions. That's what I do. Maybe he doesn't say it like that, but you get the idea. And you get me chewing ice too, so double whammy. Superman catches up to Doomsday, punches the shit out of him while the kid is trying to rescue his mother. Realizes that the JLA are out. He's begging Superman, can you fucking help me, please? I know I called you a dweeb. Yes, they use the word dweeb in this comic. Superman decides, I've got to go help the kid. He smashes Doomsday down into a lake, hoping that the silt at the bottom of the lake will hold him. Flies back, rescues the mother, and the kid, and everyone is happy. Or are they? No, because Doomsday has just burst out of the lake and smashed a helicopter. Superman comes to the rescue. The fight continues. Doomsday lands out the front of a police station. The cops are like, no, I can see white. So we're just going to let him be because he's got a bit of white coming off of him. That was a political joke. A boom boom. Actually, the cop says, I'm going to need a bigger gun. But there you go. Superman comes down. They have a punch-up. Doomsday is just kind of wrecking everything. Maxima shows up after dropping Blue Beetle off at the hospital. So Maxima now is back in the fight, which is good because she is a powerhouse as well. Lois Lane at this point is looking for Jimmy Olsen. The Daily Planet wants her to go out and report on this Superman story, and Jimmy Olsen is her photographer. Where is Jimmy Olsen, you might ask? He's recording an episode of Turtle Boy. Honestly, I don't even fucking know at this point why Jimmy Olsen is Turtle Boy on TV. But he is. At this stage, we get Lex Luthor and Supergirl watching the news about Doomsday. Supergirl wants to help, but Lex Luthor tells her no. Okay. This is Lex Luthor. A lot of you will be going, what the fuck? Lex Luthor is an old, bald man who hates Superman. Who the fuck is this guy? This guy is apparently Lex Luthor's son. Only he's not. Lex Luthor was dying, as far as I can tell. Don't quote me on this because I'm probably wrong. Lex Luthor was dying of kryptonite poisoning because he was wearing a kryptonite ring his entire life to make sure Superman didn't come near him. And so he had his consciousness put into a cloned body, which apparently has bright red hair, a red beard, and speaks like an Australian or a British person who was raised watching Home and Away. Now, what I mean by that is this Lex Luthor uses terms like matey, love, and drongo, just like Alf from Home and Away. I wouldn't be shocked if at some point in this he referred to Doomsday as a flaming galah, but there you go. Supergirl works for him. Apparently, this new Lex Luthor, or Lex Luthor's son, as everyone believes him to be, has a team of heroes to protect Metropolis, of which Supergirl is one. How is Supergirl one of this team? Didn't she die in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event? Yes, she did. You'll find out later. Doomsday and Maxima go on a rampage. Superman's pissed off because Maxima is fighting this guy and not taking innocents into account, like innocent victims. Maxima is like, fuck off, let me do my thing, you do your thing, we'll do our thing. And they just keep attacking Doomsday. There is a gas leak. Maxima decides to grab a telegraph pole. Superman says, gas, electricity, sparks, you fucking idiot. And kaboom, the whole fucking town blows up. And then Guardian arrives. Who is Guardian? I don't fucking know. I don't know this character. I only know Guardian from the Supergirl TV show, which Guardian was Jimmy Olsen. On the TV show, of course, Guardian was Jimmy Olsen, who created a suit of armor and went out to protect people just like Supergirl does. This Guardian apparently works for Cadmus Labs. Cadmus doesn't have the greatest relationship with Superman. I mean, it's there, but yeah, so I'm not sure who this Guardian is. I mean, this was early 90s, so hey, Wikipedia's your friend, guys and gals and whoever. Let's not be pronoun heavy in this video. Superman tells Guardian, get Maxima out of here. She's hurt. The news are reporting on the explosion. Superman follows Doomsday, who is basically just causing shit. Doomsday throws the car. Superman catches the car, places it down near some state troopers, and goes off. Now, Doomsday finds himself at a Lexmart. Yes, we don't have Walmart in the DC universe at this point in time. We have Lexmart. So Lex Luthor, not only is he a technological tycoon, apparently he also has a string of shopping malls. Make of that what you will. Doomsday goes inside and sees on television a wrestler talking about a wrestling event that is coming up. I can't even make this shit up. That's what he sees. The wrestler says this thing is happening in Metropolis. Doomsday maybe wanting to attend or maybe wanting to fight or wrestle, starts saying Metropolis in his little Metropolis. And that's what leads him to in the direction of Metropolis. Okay. This is just... I mean, I get that wrestling was big in the 90s. But to have a monster that has just decimated the Midwest come to a Lexmart shopping mall and watch television, I don't even know at this point. Like, I don't even know. Superman catches him in the shopping mall watching television. They get into a fight. Lois Lane is there in the Daily Planet helicopter reporting. She's basically recording what she's going to write down. Lex Luthor finds out that one of his shopping malls has been hit, and he's like, what the fuck? Supergirl wants to go, and he's like, nah, it's all right. You know, we can rebuild Lexmart. Doomsday keeps fighting Superman. Superman keeps fighting Doomsday. Everyone's kind of freaking out. Superman realizes that Doomsday is heading towards Metropolis, so throws him in the other direction. Unfortunately, that direction is right where Cadmus Labs is, their secret base. Superman realizes this and decides, you know what? I can use Cadmus Labs to fuck him up. Guardian is called by the Cadmus Labs people, who tell him, you've got to come back. Superman, well, something's happening. They don't know that it's Superman Doomsday. They're like, something's happening. Superman starts using what is called Habitat, which was this kind of village above Cadmus Labs, to take out Doomsday, to bury him. Ultimately, it doesn't work, and Guardian and Superman are taken out, while Doomsday heads straight for Metropolis. Okay, here we go. Need another drink. Construction site, Doomsday, not good. But Superman comes down to save the day. Now, for some reason, Superman's head has grown. Maybe that's what happens when he exerts himself physically. I don't know. But he captures Doomsday. Lois and Jimmy are doing their thing. Superman is just beating the shit out of him. At the same time, Martha Kent and Jonathan are watching all of this on the television. Now, this was at a time where heroes didn't have to be defined by dead relatives. In Smallville, Jonathan Kent dies. In Man of Steel, Jonathan Kent dies. Very much like Uncle Ben in Spider-Man. But at this point in the Superman comics, Jonathan Kent was very much still alive. So there you go. They continue to fight. They're in Metropolis. They're blowing shit up. At this point, Lex Luthor tells Supergirl, all right, you've got to get in on this. You've got to get in on this action. Superman holds him. Supergirl appears. And Doomsday apparently punches her so hard, her plastic surgery flies right off her face. What the fuck? No, turns out that Supergirl is a shape-shifting alien. At this point, some people that are friends of Superman are trying to help, but it is ineffective and they kind of get away to safety. The police blast Doomsday with everything they have. Fucking stupid move. Superman comes in, keeps punching him with his elongated head, and now he's got like a neck like a giraffe for whatever reason. LexCorp comes in, and Superman decides to make a stand. And this is where we come to the end of this part of the story, the issue known as the death of Superman. Okay. Let's talk about this issue for a moment. The death of Superman. I actually had this comic, Superman issue 75. It is superbly drawn. It is superbly done. It is a fitting end to the Man of Steel. I remember reading it as a kid. I remember buying the Death of Superman graphic novel and reading that. This, spoiler alert, Superman dies at the end of it. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that now. You might want to skip ahead if you don't want the story to be spoiled, he said sarcastically. Anyway, I had not read any of the previous issues when I purchased The Death of Superman. So I was basically going off what was reported on in the news. And yes, this made headlines around the fucking world. So, up until this point, I'm just going to talk about the story so far up until this point. What do I think of it? It lacks depth. It lacks character. It lacks finesse. It's a good story in as much as it's what you want from a comic. You just want the heroes and the villains beating the shit out of each other. But with that said, it throws too much at you too quickly, and a lot of it could have been kind of carved down. It suffers from, dare I say it, the Clone Saga, the Spider-Man Clone Saga problem, where the story just is convoluted for the sake of being convoluted. You've got the Justice League. I mean, if the Justice League at the time had been Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, although, to be fair, I believe Bloodwind is, in effect, Martian Manhunter, they could have easily taken out Doomsday in like 2 issues. But the Justice League was made up of like C-list characters that just don't have the power. We never find out at this point in the story, we don't even know where the fuck Doomsday came from. He just punched his way out of something with one hand tied behind his back, killed a canary, and then just went on a fucking rampage. It's a little disappointing, but by the same token, you have to understand that this wasn't the story. The death of Superman, was the story. So you needed to build up to it. You needed to lead into it. You needed to make Doomsday a character that could go toe-to-toe with Superman. I get it. I understand. I'm not overly happy with it, but it is what it is for the time that it was written in. I'm looking at this now. 92, like 30 years after this thing was written. I mean, come on. What are you going to expect? But you know what? Let's just move on to the death of Superman, because this comic is a fucking masterpiece. First of all, it's told entirely in splash pages. Nothing is diluted here. Every page is one page of art, narration, dialogue, which it works. It just works so fucking well. Superman and Doomsday go at it. I mean, look at this. Superman, like, bleeding Doomsday with his bony chest hair. Get a wax, buddy. It just absolutely works. Now, at this point, Superman is trying to get Lois and Jimmy out of danger. Lois is freaking out because at this point, her and Clark Kent have just become engaged. She knows he's Superman. The rest of the world really doesn't. And they kiss, and then Superman goes flying off. Now, this page, in and of itself, is very near and dear to my heart because I can actually remember my brother recreating this image, freehand drawing it back in the day. Incredibly talented. And it just looked phenomenal. But, I mean, come on. So, he smashed into Doomsday. People are freaking out. Doomsday pile drives him into the ground. There is Lois Lane trying to report with a one-way thing. Doomsday is about to attack Lois Lane. Superman bursts out of the ground, captures him. They fight. He smashes him. At this point, Superman realizes that if he snaps the bone spurs off of Doomsday, it's going to hurt him, which he does. And they just go at it, page after fucking page after page of Doomsday and Superman beating the living shit out of each other. Jimmy Olsen captures it. We get a shot of Jonathan and Martha Kent watching on television. We see an image that's foreshadowing what is going to happen. The Justice League are watching it. And then we get the 2-page spread of Lois cradling Superman in her arms, which leads to the day that a Superman died. Lois in tears, the cape flapping almost like a flag there, and Superman's battered corpse. And that being the end of the death of Superman, which leads into the 8-issue Funeral for a Friend storyline. So I'm going to actually stop this review here. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I just went through and kept going, this video would be like 2 or 3 hours long, and I don't want that. I want you to soak it in. I want you to enjoy. We have a little Bugs Bunny shirt there. And I want you to process this, because this was an important story in the DC universe, and one that would actually come back and have ramifications, not only on the fact that they do bring Doomsday back in various iterations in the future, but stories like Blackest Night, which is a Green Lantern story, but it deals with the Black Lantern Corps who resurrect heroes that have died. You get a whole lot of kind of blowback from this one event. Now, this didn't just ripple through DC Comics. This had an impact on comics in general. Whether you believe it is negative or you believe it is positive, it doesn't really matter. You cannot you cannot argue that this wasn't a seminal moment in 90s comic book history. And for those of us that grew up with this was a defining comic. This was something that was talked about not just between kids, but, you know, worldwide. News people, you know, even fucking Hollywood was going to adapt this story at one point. There's an animated movie. There's actually 2 animated movies, but you can actually find them where they're combined. So it's The Death of Superman and The Return of Superman. This is important. This is comic book history right here. And, you know, mock me if you want. I don't mind. This did have an effect on how people viewed comic books, how people viewed characterization. You can tell that you'll especially see it in the next arc, Funeral for a Friend, how the writing actually changed as well. So kind of keep that in mind. But I'm going to end this here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow us on all the stuff at the end. But most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, can you please read a fucking book, people?